starting at 6 p.m. to discuss some personnel issues and a lengthy discussion of some litigation that's taking place. And I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. No decisions have come from that. So with that, we'll move into roll call. Harry? Mr. Ballas?
Here.
Mr. Shields? Here. Mr. Bowden? Here. Mr. Brennan?
Here.
Mr. False? Here. Mr. Ingles?
Here.
Mr. Lloyd? Here. We're gonna move a little bit from our normal, public speakers. We have two people that have something to say, Mr. Brennan and the mayor. Mayor, do you wanna start?
Okay, Mr. Chairman and everybody, you know, this evening is a good evening to get some information to the public. I'm the guy to do it. I just want to let all you know, out there in all my years as mayor, and there's a lot of them, and a lot of you know that. But contrary to some of the news put out by some of the media, which is not objective because they only get one side of the story sometimes, and that goes through TV and the media. Munhall did not crash and go to hell. I hope everybody appreciates that and understands that. Munhall is and will be in good shape as soon as we get over a bump or two that was caused unnecessarily by some, well, I don't want to use the word, let's just go on to this. Some slimy snakes, let's put it that way. They're responsible for causing a financial problem because not only of job neglect, but also for saying some things to the public via other media such as Facebook and Twitter and all that, which I'm not that familiar with. But regardless, they're saying things on there. You know, whatever they say, they can say, obviously, on these media things. But as I said, we didn't crash, go to hell. We got money, and this wasn't money that would have absolutely had to been gotten. But we did it. We did it. You did it. The people of Munhall did it. When we cried out that our finances were hurting because of irresponsible things that had happened, the public came running with their checks and their money, their real estate tax money, as soon as we asked. And there were lines down there at our tax collector's office. And you deserve a hand. You really do. That's all we do. I want to commend everybody like that. And I want them to know how pleased and happy I am to see that our people love our great town, which is number one in my estimation. Well, anybody wants to argue that with me? I'm open. I'm open to anything. I'm open to anything I say. I just want you to know that this shows you what kind of people we have in our town. There's no question that the future is on solid ground. As I say, as soon as we do what we have to do over the next several months and pay who we have to pay and go on from there, nobody lost any money. Don't panic, because what's happened is, as you might know, we borrow money to get through the first few months. And when sometimes some people don't do their job and the money isn't there to qualify us for other monies, this becomes obviously a terrible thing to occur to a borough without finances. Audits must be done. Banks, obviously. We didn't. We paid the price. That's why we're going to get over this too, because we have a loan now that is guaranteed. And I want you to know that I'm appreciative of the people that stepped forward. Also the people that were stepped forward on the loan, because there were, I believe it was potential loaners, is that correct, Harry? And they had a finance committee meeting, and they went through the bids. Now, for your knowledge, I'll just tell you, for your knowledge, we passed the budget. I did not veto that budget, although I was very, very unhappy over what the budget did not include, and that was for the money to be appropriated for our dispatching service. But I was told by council that these guys won't lose their job, and I'm holding their feet to the fire on that one. These guys will not lose a job. Furthermore, I didn't sign the budget either. So, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Solicitor, it passes without my signature, is that correct?
That's correct, Mayor. Technically, it would be the tax ordinance which you have the right to veto, and by not signing, after 10 days, it would become valid and effective as if you had signed.
So therefore, I did have a veto prepared to do it, but after we saw that we had the money and when people stepped up, that part of it became unnecessary, so I did not sign the budget, or the ordinance passed without it. But again, I want to know, and again, it's something for council to think about, our disagreement over the dispatching and any other jobs. We need to clarify as to their duties of the year. If they're not going to be dispatching, who's going to take care of who's going to watch the cameras on Main Street? Who's going to watch the cameras for the jail cells? Who's going to operate snow and ice? These are all questions that have to be, answered. Who's going to be watching with community room here? Yes, Mr.
Mayor, I don't want to interrupt, I'm sorry. Lorraine McAfee, her vehicle is blocking the medic base. They'll wait for you down there. Carry on, Mayor, sorry.
Thank you. I thought he was going to arrest me. That scared the hell out of me. He is our Sergeant at Arms tonight, just in case any of you people got violent with me, so we had him. But seriously, we want to know the questions, and I'm sure they'll be addressed in the future during the next few months, because there's a lot to do. Now, without that, I'll just defer to the president and let you know, people, that, like I said earlier, we're fine, keep smiling, we're moving ahead with all our activities that we can. We may have to cut something here or there, but Munhall's in good shape, but they will be in good shape, and I'll tell you that much. Go ahead. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Mayor, I just have two questions to ask.
Well, Michael, can you ask them later on his report?
Yes.
Because it'll get out of control, but we'll come back to you when he does his report.
Okay,
All right, Mayor?
I'll defer to the next speaker.
Thank you.
That is my,
Mr. Brennan had a brief statement he wanted to make.
Just two things I wanted to say. One is, I'm glad to see all the residents here. The last meeting we were here was a workshop session, and it did get quite out of control a little bit. And I did get a little upset and did take a little control of the meeting. I wanted to give my apologies to the chair here, Harvey, for maybe overstepping my bounds a little bit. I did get a little worked up, and maybe I stepped over his authority a little bit there in running the meeting. It was not intentional on my part, and so I apologize. Okay. Secondly, though, I wanted to bring some good news into the borough for everyone to hear. As the mayor started to say, the people have really been coming forward and paying our taxes early. And Donna, is Donna here? Donna Fury? Yeah. Okay, Donna. I've been working with Donna hand in hand with Donna and Dan, and I just wanted to give you guys a total, roughly what's come into the borough right today. The taxpayers in Munhall to date have brought in $580,000 and $599. So thank you all again. I mean, we couldn't be more than that.
Mr. Shields has a quick comment.
Last week, I engaged the Teamster steward, Gene Doyle. I want to apologize for my behavior that night. It was totally inappropriate on my part. I called Gene, I've known Gene for 40 years. We talked at length. We both agreed that it was inappropriate, the way we handled things, the way things were brought up. And I want to apologize to anyone in the room, Billy Assen. I don't know if Billy's here tonight, apologize to him also, but we're under a lot of high anxiety here, if you noticed, employees, council, and it got the best of me that night. And I don't know if you remember last week, Mr. Condis and I had an exchange, and we disagreed on what we were talking about, the TAN loan, and, after the meeting, I took Mr. Condis home. And that's the way it has to be. We can disagree here, but I took Mr. Condis home, and we did a little evening tour of the garden plan, and then as Mr. Condis got out of my truck, he reminded me how stupid I am. and that's the way it has to be. Only Ray can do that. But I want to apologize for my behavior last week. It was inappropriate. And as Agnes Patterson will let you know, my mother would not be proud of me. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shields. I'll just make a few brief comments as well. We have been under a lot of stress. For those of you who followed what we were up against starting the beginning of the year and being down to $15,000 in our checking account on January 15th. And the levity of that situation is that our payroll and benefits, without paying any other bills, run us $290,000 a month. So if you can imagine the panic that we were kind of in, trying to make sure that we had a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. We did put all those things together. It's worked very well to this point. Everything that we've tried to do is now working. And I guess what you take from here is that hopefully we can agree sometimes to disagree, but we don't really have to get ugly with one another to disagree. So if you're here and you want to make a statement and you're on the agenda, or if you have something to state about something here, we plan to be as open and transparent as we ever have been. And we have nothing to hide. Our cash flow is in an excellent position right now. We're going to talk about that. We did secure the ability to do a tax anticipation loan. We may not have to take that loan, but we will talk about that under that item. So I think there's reason to move forward positively tonight. I hope that we can maintain that decorum throughout the meeting. So with that, we'll go right into our public speakers. Mr. Condis, you're number one. Come to the podium and state your name.
I thought we went into it first.
My name's Rick Condis, and I'm living on Skirgle.
I know the name, but I never.
I see that they marked me down for money for the War Memorial. Speaking of the War Memorial, they suck, they're terrible, they're dirty, they're filthy, and Mr. Battles was supposed to take it over when I cleaned it all up. 4 years ago was the last time it was cleaned. We were very fortunate that the Munhall Garden Club come in, and they fixed up the one at the park. I took all my money and I went up there and I bought dirt, I bought everything, seed, everything that I put up there. I didn't come back to the borough for nothing. I went down across the street here, me and Mr. Davis cleaned it up and we painted it, we put the ceiling on it, everything. I fixed all the electric. Went into Kennedy, I fixed the electric. Mr. Davis collected money for it. I didn't appreciate that, but I let it go. Now, the War Memorial down there, terrible, they suck, and I want something done with it. No, I am not on the war committee, memorial committee. I have nothing to do with it. I give it to the generosity of the Capital Corps veterans and the Borough of Munhall, and thank you, the veterans, for everything they did. Now, on the playground, there was $80,000 that we got as a grant that Becky put in for it years ago. We're supposed to fix up the playground on 12th Avenue and 19th. The playground on 19th was sold. Where's the money at for the money that Fetterman, and whatever his name, Gary Furman gift? We bought that playground. Now, that money should have been in with the 80,000, it was 80,000 plus. I want to know what happened to the money and if, why isn't the playground on 12th Avenue fixed? Thank you, I don't want to hear about it, that's your own problem. And I guess we talk about the rest of the later. But I want to know where the money's at for number one.
All right, I'll answer that. To the best of my ability.
I've asked this question 13 times to every one of you, I brought it up, I want to know where it's at. If not, I'm going downtown and find out why.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Corliss.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Susan Engler from Pyretopia. Susan, are you here?
I am, yes.
Come on up.
No,
Get an answer? You gonna answer?
Well, yeah, I can answer, but Mr. Corliss said he didn't want an answer. Well, the answer is that, Becky, working with Ann Lewis at the COG, applied for a grant for 2 playgrounds. And I'm not sure if it was 80,000 or the exact
It
number.
was 80,000.
All right. They did work at 12th Avenue Playground, and, actually I objected because I said that we didn't own the land. And they moved forward with that project. The 19th Avenue Playground, I said we didn't own the land based on a document that was given to me by Lindsay, our engineer. And they started to go ahead and they sent a backhoe up there and they started doing work. It was an outside contractor. Subsequently, it was determined that we in fact may have owned the land, but we were landlocked and we didn't have access to it because there was no easement for us to get to the land. And Mr. Furman said that, you know, we didn't have legal access to the land. So we abandoned that. They had already gone ahead and ordered playground equipment for that playground and spent some money on it. Subsequently, we were able to sell that equipment dollar for dollar, is my understanding, to the Borough of West Mifflin. And then the balance of the money, I think we had to return because it was a grant and we didn't use it. So to the best of my knowledge, Lindsay, do you have more information?
the contract was administrated through the COG, and so the funds never reached our bank account. We submitted the pay request and the COG paid that. So to my knowledge, they kept the money and we didn't get any of it. It went directly to the
Okay, what happened to the money when Furman's wanted off of you?
Went into the general fund.
Oh, everything's in the general fund. And you won't show us the general fund, will you?
We'll show,
Because I could sit here and argue with you all day about that general fund. Hit it again. That clock up there is for me anyway, by the way.
Anytime you want. Our next speaker is Susan Engler. Susan, do you want to come forward?
The scope of work for that grant? Was that for specific playgrounds?
You're out of order, sir. Susan, would you come forward, please?
I'll ask later.
You're welcome to go to the office and pull a copy of the grant, sir. We'll give it to you. Thank you for coming.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. My name is Susan Engler, and I'm with the group organizing Pyretopia, which is the festival of fire arts, art and performance that uses fire, electricity, and light. I think a presentation had been made at council a couple of months ago, but I just wanted to bring everyone up to date on where we are, what's going on. We have been working since fall, and this, by the way, is an event that was held at the waterfront last year. We had about 4,000 people there. We outgrew that space, and we're invited to come and take a look at Westfield Park in Munhall. It's an ideal space for the event. And we have been working since fall with borough officials to start to get logistics in order for the event, because there's a lot of them, of course, with a fire festival and a festival this large. We're working now with Harry Falk and his crew. And like I said, I just wanted to bring you up to date. We're working on getting amenities in order for safety, logistics, and so on. We are working out the program, and we are once again going to have a children's version. It's going to be during the daytime. It's going to be a free program. We have the Carnegie Science Center, the Mattress Factory, the Glass Center, Assemble, some of the best children's organizations in the city. And that's going to be free. And then in the evening, we're going to have performances and installations that use fire, electricity, and light. It's a spectacle. We're also going to have food truck vendors, and the event is all family friendly and alcohol free, of course. It's dangerous. Let's see, what we also wanted to do is to reach out to council and to officials in the town to try to find a way to leverage the very large crowd. I mean, we're expecting 4,000 again, maybe more. To try to find a way to leverage the large crowd that will be here for the good of the community. We have a couple of ideas worked out. We're going to be talking to council members, both in Munhall and in the surrounding communities too, about some ideas. We're working out a discount, for example, on tickets for residents in this zip code. We're working with, we'd like to coordinate with businesses to maybe offer reciprocal discounts if somebody comes to the festival, you know, they go to the business, they get a little bit off of a food or a service or so on. We also want to work with some of the school districts to publicize the free children's programming, because it's a really quality educational program. And we want to connect, going, is this okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
They have that handled, these guys are.
Okay, okay. Let's see, and we also, we're in high publicity mode now. We want to make the PR materials available to your borough webmasters, so that you can, again, you know, leverage the attention that the festival is going to draw for your site, your city. And we're looking for other ideas too, to have all boats rising at the same time. I've got some material if anybody wants it.
Susan, your time's up, but I would suggest that you meet with Rob. I know you've already met with Rob.
We met about a year ago. That was the one before, then you had to cancel.
Yes.
We met at the
With
farm
Eric
one time.
and Drew, right.
There are some other contacts. If you contact me, I can push you into contact with some other people and maybe make it build it into a bigger event.
Great, that sounds good.
I'm glad you picked Munhall to do
All
it.
right, we are so happy to be here. It's a
Thank you.
beautiful field.
You can get my information on, call Borough building up there.
Thank you, Eric.
Or if you wanna stick around, I'll give it to you later.
Great, I'll take that. Thank you all.